So let's start getting this installed. I've spent the last few minutes digging a hole right here. This is where the last light is going to go. But I want my low voltage line to pass under the sidewalk, and we're going to go around the house and put it where the power source is in the basement. So I've dug out a trench here so it's pretty much level. These granite stones have been here for over 40 years, and I have no clue what's under them. So I could hit a rock, but I've got this, I think it's 1 inch, 3/4 inch PVC. Anyway, the spigot on my hose fits it, and this spigot does not go through the house, so I'm using full pressure from the street, which I don't know. In the house, we drop it down to like 60 pounds per square inch, but this could be as much as 60 or 70. So I'm going to turn it on here so it's full blast, and then stick it in here and keep punching it until it goes all the way under. There it goes. I thought I hit a rock. I think I'm through. So I'm through over there. So I can take my my wire snake here and put it through the pipe and grab the wire from the other side. So while this water is draining out, I'm going to use my edger, my sidewalk edger, to cut a shallow trench back to where we need it. So I've raked back all the mulch on that side and raked here. I don't want to put this directly in line with my sidewalk because it could be that I need to edge here, so I'm going to move it out about 6 inches. You may not have to do this at all in your application. You don't have to bury this deep. It's only 12 volts. I am no electrician, but I figure if I can install this, pretty much any handyman can do it. So this is my edger. I'm just going to cut a shallow trench back there. I don't need to do it around the foundation. So the lights are going to go right here in front of this step. And I measured them. They're about 6.5 inches with the thing that comes out of the bottom. So I'm just guesstimating at that hole. So I'm not going to bore you with the whole man digging holes. I'm just going to prepare the rest of them just like this one. Well, I just finished the last hole. I think the hardest part of this installation is finished. And again, you don't have to dig a ditch. I'm going to put the mulch back on here. It doesn't have to be deep. It's only 12 volts. And again, I'm not an electrician, but I think I'll start fresh here in the morning. Maybe get the light bulbs in and I'll wire it up. It's a beautiful morning here in Georgia. Normally I'm sitting where the camera is to enjoy this second cup of coffee. But today is the day to install these. All the hard work was done yesterday, which wasn't that hard. But I'm going to get the light bulbs in here today. I really love these, the quality of workmanship here. These are just beautiful. All of them are already prepared. They've split the wires. They've given us a white and a black. So we will, when it comes time to wire these up, simply pull those off. This comes with a warning. When these lights are on, they're hot. And I'm not sure. I've got a couple different screwdrivers here. I'm not sure which one I want to use. A little stubby. I would guess that these are stainless steel screws. I don't have a magnet out here, but actually my screwdrivers are magnetized and they don't want to pick them up. Two little prongs here, and they snap in to the bottom. A rubber gasket as well. I think it's best to restart all of the screws, and that way you know you've got everything lined up before you tighten them back down. So once you get the lid off, you have the rubber gasket. These brass fittings, they go all the way through. This is a very thick plastic coating, and right down here, it'll focus, are the two holes, and these are the brackets that hold the light in. The LED light itself has these two little indentations here where the clip will go. So now all I have to do is to line it up. You can actually see the holes there because it tilts, and then just give it a snap. And now we'll reassemble and rinse and repeat. Well, I've got them all ready to go. A pro tip, I'm no pro, but I ended up tightening these like if you've ever had the pleasure of changing a tire, kind of in a star pattern. So I do one and just hand tighten, and then across from it, and then across from it, across from it, and across from it. In real time, to do all six, it took about a half an hour. A lot of screwing and unscrewing. But let's go get these bad boys in the ground. Well, here we are in the ancient part of my basement. This is where the furnace room is. This is where my sump pump is. And I have an outlet right here. And that's where I'm going to plug this transformer into. So I need to get it mounted. I'm going to bring the wires. So I found a crack in that vent. I'm going to bring the wires right through that crack and mount that transformer right here. Transformer looks just like this. It has a mounting bracket that I'll put on the wall, and that'll slide right into there if I can get it back out. This is where the photocell will go, and then I have the two terminals right there. I'll put the mount right here. I have my little Yankee drill here. This is what we used before we had drills, and I'm just going to mark where I need to drill the hole. I think that'll work right there. And then with just a few quick pushes, I have my pilot hole. They still sell these on Amazon, and I'm sure you can pick them up at flea markets. I inherited this one, so that'll go right there. Time to run some wires. Again, there's no reason to leave that conduit in here. This is not none of this has to be put in conduit. I've just got a paint stick here to help me press it in my little crease here. It doesn't have to be deep. It's 12 volts. Believe me, I am no electrician. I do have this little tool that I've used forever. Clean this out if I need to. So back here behind the bushes, no reason to bury it at all. And I'll just turn the corner and tuck it behind these flowers. Well, I've got it around to this point. This is that same conduit that I used to drill the hole under the porch with, and I am going to protect it, the wire here where it's exposed, just like they did with my cable, internet cable. That ought to do it. And this is the photo cell. This will plug in downstairs. Has a little bulb right here. I'm going to put the cover back on to protect it. I'm going to run both these wires through this little crack at the same time. I'm going to tape these two elements together. I don't think there's any need for fancy brackets here. The photo cell comes with its own little hook. It has a place for a screw, but I'm going to use double-sided tape. Leave the cover on it so that when I get everything set up, it'll work. To get this first light here where I wanted it, I had to add another stone here. It's going to go right here, and I'll be able to fill that in. This has always been kind of a downward slope here where the chickens love to dig in it too. I need to prepare this wire. In the olden days, I would have done this with a pocket knife, but I think I either inherited these or picked these up at a flea market. I don't really remember. But I'm going to try the 14 gauge here and go down about 3/4, 5/8 of an inch, half an inch, 5/8 of an inch, and score it all around. And that'll come right off. Easy for you, Larry. And that'll come right off. Now, I'm not sure if, I don't know much about electricity. I've told you that before. But I know there is such a thing as polarity. And I'm not sure if this 12 volt requires polarity or not, but I'm going to try to do that on this low voltage cable. One side has writing on it and the other side doesn't. Well, on that, I'm going to try to be consistent, and on the black side, I'm going to use the writing. The lights come with these wire nuts that are filled with silicone. And that way, when I stick it in the hole here, I'll be screwing it in the correct way. So that's tight. You don't want any of the brass showing, any of the wires showing. So this one should be ready to go. So I'll bury that cable and head up to the next one. So to get this one to stand up where I wanted it, I actually held it up with some bricks here, and now I can backfill it with dirt and mulch. So coming up to the second light here, we need to treat it a little bit differently. We need the wire and the power to keep going. So this is the wire that I've buried in the ground, and I'll find the writing on this side. There we go. So I want that black to black, and here's the black from the light. So we'll put all of those together, give them a good clockwise twist, and then insert them into the wire nut. Keep twisting it and pushing. A little silicone may come out, not going to hurt you. Do the same thing over here. So I'll get this buried and we'll just continue on up. Well, I've got them all wired up outside. I've connected my 2 wires here. You just don't want to make sure there's no frays around there. I've got my photosensitive cell hooked up. I'm going to plug it in. The light's on. And it's off, and then it's on. I can also put it on a timer. I have some things to tidy up outside, but I'm anxious to see if they're on. Let's go. Well, I am so excited. Light number 1 is on. Light number 2 is on. Light number 3 is on. Light number 4 is on. Light number 5 is on. And light number 6 is on. Like I said in the basement, I've got some tidying up to do, but everything is working. I couldn't be happier. These are going to look awesome at night. Well, you may not be able to see my face, but I can see the steps. What a difference. This is awesome, Zoe. I think I've just increased my curb appeal by several $100s. I am so impressed. It was actually so easy to do. It didn't take that long. Easily be done in a day. I actually picked, I think, the harder of the lights to install. The ones that come and look like little trees, you don't even have to dig a hole for those. They have a stake on the bottom. So I am so excited. This is makes my house so much safer. Maybe I should talk to my insurance agent and get my rates reduced for liability. Of course, the links are below.